the assignments. All right. As I've said a couple times, the first part of the assignment is your funny reading project. Okay. The easiest place to go is go into Google Classroom. I've attached the article. You're going to read the article. You're going to answer the question. Okay. Hopefully, if you're doing this video, you've done that. If you haven't, stop the video. Go do the funny reading assignment first and foremost. It's going to help you think about this as a process. Okay. Next is going to be your infographic activity. So this is where we're going to break it down just a small little infographic and working on that. So I've given you 3 points of data. 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, 5% is auditory, 5% is olfactory, hearing and smell. All right, nice and clean and simple. It all adds up to 100%. So you're going to take that and you're going to create 6 charts, 6 infographics based on the presentation I showed you. So the 6 most popular charts used. Let me do this. I can actually do this. This will allow you to go through. So if we go here and we go here, so you're going to create, using the data I just gave you, a pie chart, a bar chart, a line chart, a bubble chart, a ring chart, okay? And then an icon chart. For each, you're going to do a chart for this data that I gave you. You're going to do one of those for each of these. So you have 6 of them, okay? You're going to have a pie chart that explains this information, a line chart that shows off this information, that type of thing. I want you to practice how to do this, okay? So you're going to make 1 sketch for each of the chart types, which means 6 total sketches to kind of show me and you how you're going to lay this out. You must hand those in. Those must get approved before I can let you do it, okay? The only thing that you can type is the percentage. So 90%, 5%, 5%. I will change this, okay? Not just the 90%. You can write 90%, 5%, and 5%. The rest of the information, okay? Basically, I want to be able to look at that and understand that 90% of the information is visual. So how are you going to show me 90% is visual? How are you going to show me 5% is auditory? How are you going to show me 5% is olfactory? Okay? You're going to create a new Illustrator file with 6 artboards. It should look like this, all right? You just create new. You're going to do 6 by 6 and type in 6 and create. And you'll have your 6 artboards. So each one of these will be one of the charts, okay? Once you're done with those, all right, you're gonna hand in your PDF as a final. But remember, it's really super important to get input from me. Do not just hand it in on the day it's due. Send it to me as a PDF. I can take a look at it. I can give you feedback. I can give you input. I can tell you what needs to be changed, what needs to be adjusted, okay? But the most important thing is the only thing you can type is the percentages, 90%, 5%, and 5%. Everything else has to be artwork, okay? So that's the infographic activity. You've got to complete that before we even get started. You'll be able to hand in the PDF via Google Classroom when it's final and when it's done. Okay? If you have any questions about the infographic activity, just let me know. Do not move on to the infographic poster without doing the activity. The activity is going to help you get a feel for how this works. Okay? Once you're done with the infographic activity, you're going to move on to the infographic poster. Right? You need to choose the data. So I've given you 5 data points to choose from. You need to figure out which set of data you're going to use. Okay? Each data has 5 points. So teens on screens is 5. You get it. I wanted it to be fair. Okay? If you all want to do dogs versus cats, go for it. Okay? It doesn't matter to me. All right? But you got to pick your data. Once you pick your data, okay, you are then going to do 6 sketches. So you'll notice that there are 5 data points, right? Okay, you're going to do 1 sketch for each of the data points that I've given you, and you're going to do me 1 sketch that shows how it's overall all going to be laid out into a poster. Again, okay, if I'm going to be doing, let me pull up my data. Let's say I'm going to be doing teens on screens. I'm going to do a sketch showing this. I'm going to do a sketch showing this. I'm going to do a sketch showing this, a sketch showing this, and a sketch showing this. How I'm going to chart each of these points. They do not all have to be the same chart. You can do a bunch of different charts. You can do a couple of the same. That's up to you how you want to put it all together. But I want to see a sketch for each one of those data points. Okay, so that's your first 5 sketches. And the 6th sketch is going to show me how you plan to put it all together in one layout. Okay? Again, your, here. Okay? 6th sketch, okay, so then it shows the layout of the poster. It can be 11 by 17 or it can be 17 by 11, really up to you. Do not forget to put your margins in. You can't have text right up against the edge of the page, okay? If you're getting input from me, I can help you. I can see that first and foremost and make sure you put that in. You have full color as an option. You can do black and white. Most people do not. And you have full bleed, okay, which means you can bleed it or you can't. If you're going to bleed it, remember you have to actually put the bleed in and you have to put the artwork to the bleed. Okay, which means the 0.125, and that's in your document setup. So if I'm creating my poster, it's going to be 11, it's going to be 17, okay? And then if I want it to bleed, it's going to be 0.125, right? If I don't have to do that. I create it, Okay, whoops, I have 6 artboards because my previous one was 6. Let me get rid of those with the artboard tool. Okay, from here, I need to see my rulers. So I just hit Command R or view rulers. All right, and now I would bring in my margins, which would be like a 1/2 inch. Okay, set that up. And even if you're using the bleed, you still need margins. Okay, now remember, the bleed is the red line. Okay, the black is the edge of the paper. So if I have a beautiful image here, all right, see my beautiful image? And I want it to bleed to the edge, I have to make sure it at least goes to the red. Otherwise, it won't bleed. Just setting up the bleed and then having your thing go to the edge of the page is not using the bleed properly, okay? So make sure you're actually using the bleed properly, all right? All the work's going to get done in Illustrator. And again, you're going to hand this in via Google Classroom. The hardest part about this is coming up with the 5 charts, okay, the 5 little infographics that you're going to have to create using the data, all right, and then bringing them all together into one piece, all right? Some examples of that. Again, if you go into the examples folder, you'll look at the ones with the students' names. So here's Steve's example on Teens on Screens. Okay, and you can see how he used the charts. Now, he used a little too much text in some cases, okay? But you see his overall theme, right? This is Phoenix on homelessness. Okay, he had 2 different color schemes. All right, you can see how he did this. All right, Selena's infographic on how to be a superhero, which is cute. This was when I used to do it when they had to recreate one. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for the infographic. All right, and that's why I have you doing the activity first, is to practice how to make these charts with some very simple data. So you have to pick your data. You have to use one of the sets of data I give you. You're going to do 6 sketches, 1 for each of the 5 data points that I give you, and then 1 that shows me the overall layout. That must get approved before you move any more forward, okay? Then you can create your piece in Illustrator. All right, then you see that you got your specs here, and you're just going to hand in a PDF to me as well as a printed and trimmed final copy. You don't have to trim it if there's no bleed, okay? But that shouldn't be a deciding factor in your design, okay? So your infographic data is here. The first thing you got to do is decide on what you want to choose it from, which data point you want to do. Then you want to start getting going on it, okay? If you have any questions or need my input, upload it to Google Classroom and I'll give you the input, okay? Feedback is crucial in this. You will not be able to get this the first time. But again, before you do anything, it is the reading assignment first, the activity second, and then the project itself third. Okay, we have 3 weeks to work on this. We're going to need it. It's plenty of time to get it done, but we're going to need all that time. Okay? If you have any questions, email me. All right? We can set something up. We can do a Zoom, whatever you need. Okay, Google Meet. But just make sure to get input from me. All right? Good luck.